Okay, standing by. Coming to you live in 5, 4.
Good afternoon and welcome live to Bedfordford in Surreyshire, and I'm joined by the Vicar of St Brittany's Church, the Reverend David Brown. David, welcome to the show. And if I could start by asking you, what was it that brought you to the church?
Thank you, Chester. It's very, very good to be here. My story is somewhat unusual in that I came to the church fairly late on in life. Actually, after having worked in a caring profession for a number of years.
In the caring profession? Were you a doctor or a nurse?
No, nothing quite as glamorous as that. I actually stacked the shelves in Superdrug for the last 2 years.
So, David, what was it that brought you to the church?
Well, of course, many of us come to the church because of the desire to spread the good news, become actively involved in a community, and to offer wisdom and advice to those who maybe are a little less fortunate than ourselves, and of course to spread the good news of God.
Heartwarming stuff, David. Heartwarming stuff.
Yes, it certainly is. But I didn't feel like that. I just thought, what am I good at? What can I do with life that doesn't involve checking barcodes on bottles of Old Spice and Sure, promoting 2-for-1 offers? So I decided that actually I wasn't very good at anything. So I thought, why not train to be a priest?
I see.
Oh, and the money is very good as well. We get a rather good pension, very splendid house, all bills paid for, which is really quite something, and you really only have to work on Sundays, and that's only for a couple of hours, say 3 or 4 hours.
It's good of you to be so candid, David. What would you say, though, are the best parts of the job?
Well, a couple of years ago we did this rather splendid deal on Daffodil cool water, and it was buy one get one free, and they sold like hot cake.
I suppose I meant within the church.
Oh, the church,
Yes,
the church,
yes.
so sorry. I guess probably not working on Saturdays is usually rather a good thing. The occasional wedding, which is a bit of a pain, but we try and get through those rather quickly. Getting a free Sunday lunch is usually quite good. There's a number of nice old ladies that are always very keen to help there. And then there's the thrill of actually being in the presence of the Lord. That's Lord Bedfordford, I should say. Now, he's a rather jolly good chap. He's very good with his liquor as well, if you wouldn't mind me telling you that. And we had rather a good carol sing around the village last year, and he brought this rather splendid flask of brandy, finest quality of course, being a lord, and I suppose by the end of it we were all rather merry, but we thoroughly enjoyed us.
Right. So, what about your relationship with your parishioners, David?
The parishioners now. Oh, well, I suppose we should avoid this situation. There have been many rumours that things have happened, but they have all been quashed, and Marilyn has moved away from the parish, so
yes.
She can't be contacted. And
I suppose I meant with all the parishioners.
Oh.
Because I mean, as a vicar, you must spend lots of time with people at the very best and worst times of their lives: the births, the deaths, the marriages, that sort of thing.
Yes, there is actually a bit of that, but I try to avoid it, and I don't like to promote it at all. Really, it takes up a bit too much time. I'm more of a sherryman myself, really, with Lady Bedfordford.
Right. So, David, tell me, you've chosen our next hymn, haven't you? And what is that?
Yes, I have indeed. Now, it's a very funky little number. It's just been produced in our new hymn book for junior children, and our children are very encouraged by this song. I'm afraid the older members of my congregation aren't quite as happy with it, and the organist specifically doesn't like it, but that's another story. It's called Smack My Bitch Up by the Prodigy.
Right. Well, here, singing Smack My Bitch Up by the Prodigy is the choir of St Brittany's Church. You're not really a vicar, are you?
Well, to be perfectly honest, no, I'm not, I'm afraid. Don't suppose you want any Colgate plaques at the moment. We're doing rather a good deal.
To the church then, David?
Well, of course, many of us come to the church because of the desire to spread the good news of our Lord, the community's close neck. I've gone wrong already, I'm thinking. Sorry.
It's okay, doesn't matter.
4. A very good afternoon and welcome live once again to another edition of Songs of Praise, which this afternoon comes from Bedford. Oh, bollocks.
Bedford bollocks.
Very good afternoon and welcome live to another edition of Songs of Praise, which this afternoon comes from Bedfordford in Surreyshire, and I'm delighted to be joined by the Reverend David Brown, who's the Bishop.
I've been promoted. There's some scandals gone on and they wanted rid of me out of the parish into a senior position, which is...
It is a limited take.
A very good 4. Care profession, like medicine,
There's nothing quite as strenuous as that. I was actually start that again.
4. You've chosen our next hymn for us.
Indeed I have, yes.
Tell us what that is.
It's a new number. It's been reworked in a modern form based on the story of Adam and Eve.
Right.
No, we're not on Adam and Eve. Why am I thinking that? Sorry, camera.
I'm not aware that Adam smacked his bitch up.
Well, no, that's when he went to do it. Shoot more on the apple. Yes, sorry.
5. In
Stuart. Come on again, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Right again.
So, that's heartwarming stuff, David.
Yes, but I didn't.
5. In
Very good. Okay.
Bedford here in Surreyshire, where I'm
Generous soul, very much like me, and he is a man of liquor. Let me say that to you. And I'm now going to laugh because I'm turning into Mrs. Overall when she was in that episode of Victoria Wood. Sorry. I'm whining again. I'm sorry. I'll go back to it.
I suppose I meant I suppose I meant in the church.
Over here. Go quick. Now, it is an arrangement by the popular composer Prodigy, and it is Smack My Bitch Up.
Right. Well, here, singing Smack My Bitch Up is the choir. Right. Well, here, singing.
The camera's on me all the time. Gives me a right sense of community.
Right. Well, here's singing.